Dumb 414. Ball of garbage. I can't even fucking. You know what? I'm about to fucking quit. About Anthrax. When I did my video for my thrash metal album sales, I realized that, hey, I haven't done a video for Anthrax yet. Now, this isn't going to be a ranking video. I know there's too many people that do that. They rank the albums in the order that they like them, what they think is the best. A lot of new jacks do that. Sorry, just too many people do it. So I usually just don't do it on my videos. I say here and there which albums I like the best anyways. But we'd be talking about Anthrax today, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the album. Once again, I'm going to try to do a shorter video so it's not too long. But anyways, I really like Anthrax. The first album, Fistful of Metal, which was good. I wasn't really wild about Neil Turbin. There was some bands out there that had first singers to when they got a newer singer, especially when it's during the early stages, it kind of fit and sounded better. I don't know, it's what we're used to, I guess. So a lot of bands have done that before. They've had like a first singer, whether it be Iron Maiden, Exodus, or Testament, I should say, and the Anthrax, and several other bands. I can't think of any right now, but you know what I mean by the second album. And of course, during the early stages, throughout the early 80s, it was always a good thing that they got a new vocalist. The next full-length album of Anthrax's, and the first one with Joey Belladonna on vocals, was Spreading the Disease. Awesome, wicked songs off that are Air, A-I-R, and Madhouse, and Medusa. The riff in Medusa is just an awesome one. It's a totally amazing song. So Spreading the Disease was an awesome album, and I didn't buy it on tape cassette until like the fall of 1989 because I had heard Among the Living and State of Euphoria before that, and I wanted to go back, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta check out this older one of theirs, and it was an awesome one. But their next album, 1987's Among the Living, was an awesome album. The album cover is not really specifically a heavy metal album, but there's just awesome wicked songs on there, like Among the Living, Skeletons in the Closet, and of course Indians. And my favorite part off that, when Scott Ian screams War Dance, where he screams it, so awesome and epic. Probably one of the best things that Scott Ian has ever said. Don't get me wrong, Scott Ian is a really cool rhythm guitarist. He's definitely one of the best rhythm guitarists, but I love that song and I love that album. That was my intro to Anthrax. You know, Joey Belladonna is wearing a War Dance beer shirt, which is going to be in my next video. I'm going to be talking about that in the next video. But State of Euphoria was the next album, and I think the songs on there, Antisocial, Be All End All, Who Cares Wins, were just wicked awesome songs. I really love this album. I love the sound of it. Charlie Benete's drumming is just awesome. I thought he was an awesome drummer. I don't know why he's not on my favorite drummers video. He should have been, but I'm including him now. He's definitely one of my favorite drummers in heavy metal music. That's for sure. Who Cares Wins was about the homeless. Which Wins was an important video and it's an important song, and the video showcases and talks about the homeless problem in New York City. I mean, that was back in 1989 and still going on. But anyways, they wrote songs like that. That's why a lot of people admired them and respected them for that. Their cover of Antisocial was amazing. I never heard of that song until years later, and when I first saw the video for the first 2 or 3 times, I didn't know it was a cover tune until Adam Curry mentioned it on the Headbangers Ball that, hey, this is a cover tune by the band Trust, and I was like, oh, okay, it's a cover tune, that's interesting. It wasn't until years later when I heard the original version. Anthrax version is definitely way better, it's heavier. So in late August of 1990, Anthrax releases Persistence of Time, and I bought that album, and it's perfect timing because it's right there at the beginning of the school year. So September of 1990, while listening to it, walking to school during my senior year, it was a perfect thing. I have really fond memories of that. I listened to that album for like a month straight. Awesome wicked tracks. I Got the Time, another awesome cover tune. Every single time They cover a song, they pick a good one, and they do a wicked job on it. And of course the song Time and the clean tone, The Belly of the Beast. There's just really cool songs on that. And of course, once again, 1990 was the year for thrash metal, and Persistence of Time wasn't the best thrash metal album to come out that year. But it's still a really good album. I liked it. Let's go right into 1993, I guess. Sound the White Noise. I wasn't wild about John Bush. I wasn't huge on Armored Saint. I liked Armored Saint. I thought John Bush was okay. I heard several Armored Saint songs before. But once John Bush joined Anthrax, I was just like, when I heard about it, I was like, I don't know. It's going to sound probably kind of corny. But I bought Sound of White Noise to check it out and say, okay, well, it's the 90s now. This singer's leaving. This person's leaving. Rob Halford winds up leaving Priest. Bruce Dickinson leaves Iron Maiden. Joey Belladonna leaves or gets fired, whatever, from Anthrax. All this shit's happening. So anyways, I checked it out, and there were some songs on there that I liked, like Sound the White Noise and Only. There were some songs on there that were just okay. I didn't really love it. Once again, it was 93, so a lot of these bands weren't really putting out albums anymore. They were either putting out something that was really stupid or going on hiatus, or they just didn't release anything until like a couple of years later. By 93, a lot of the thrash metal bands were just kind of like on a downward spiral. However, Megadeth and Overkill kept going, and they did release stuff which was pretty good. But it wasn't well as the Sound of White Noise. Stomp 442 by Anthrax was... Alright, so the next album I'm going to be talking about by Anthrax was Stomp 442, which features a ball of garbage on the cover. I have no idea what the hell that's about. And of course, this guy on the cover, if you look closely, it's like, what the hell? Why did they do that? At this point, they're becoming like the Scorpions of thrash metal, and by that I mean just coming out with stupid-ass album covers. But my favorite songs off that, I really like the songs Random Acts of Senseless Violence and King Size, and of course Fueled. And you hear the double bass work that Charlie Benante does in Fueled is really cool. I do like that. It was kind of on the alternative side, but I really wasn't wild about it. The next album that came out with Volume 8, and something about this one, I just did not like Volume 8. I remember buying that when the CD came out, and it was just, I tried to give it a listen. I tried to give it several spins. I mean, it was just too... It was weird. It was like alternative experimental. It's like they, of course, have been going alternative more so. And it was just experimental stuff. And some of the songs are interesting. I mean, it's interesting that they did that. I guess they want to just experiment and get that stuff out of the system. Be like, oh, hey, we could write kind of like a pop song. We could write like a country song easy and all that other stuff. I understand and appreciate that. But just Volume 8, I was not wild about and I didn't like at all. I had two thrash metal dreams in my life. Well, two of them at the time. And one of them was the return of Bobby Gustafson to Overkill. That never happened. And my second one was Joey Belladonna returning to Anthrax, which he did. In 2011, they released Worship Music. I think it's okay, but there's something about it. It's off that are okay. It's something that I do like, but I didn't really love it. For All Kings is a better album, and of course now it's been a good like 6 years since that's come out. That came out in 2016. For All Kings, which is the part right here, that pentagram and that little, I don't know, rainbow, what the heck, freaking stained glass kind of honeycomb thing. I don't know what the heck that is. It's really colorful. I saw this picture and I freaking decided to use it for the thrash metal albums thing. And of course I put the albums up, but then when I ordered the tapestry, it came without the albums again. About Anthrax, especially recently, because they're always saying that they didn't do drugs and they didn't do this and all that other stuff, and people like them for it. They don't need that satanic bullshit fake imagery like upside down crosses and pentagrams and stuff. But several people have mentioned, hey, what's with the pentagram? Am I offended by the pentagram? No. Do I think it's that they shouldn't use it? I just think it's odd that they use it, because they talked about how they were not like those other bands that used all that imagery and stuff like that. But the last couple of albums, several of their albums, they've had that pentagram on there. So it's like, yeah, well, what is with that? I'm just kind of curious. I mean, I'd be kind of curious on to ask them. Once again, I don't really give a shit. I mean, considering what they said, and then it's on their later albums, then you're like, you know, what the heck? If it's on like a Slayer album, it's on a Venom album, or what the hell have you, then you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, they're always using the pentagram and all that other stuff. No big deal. Anyways, that's it for the video. I think Anthrax is a cool band. They've done some odd, corny shit throughout the years. But they have some really awesome, wicked songs. And they have some cool guitar riffs. And they have some really cool drumming, Charlie Benante. And I've always liked Anthrax. And if you're new to like thrash metal, definitely check out Anthrax. And if you're new to Anthrax and or thrash metal, definitely check out the earlier stuff like Spreading the Disease, Among the Living, or State of Euphoria. And even Persistence of Time. Those top 4 are Anthrax's best 4 albums ever done. Thanks for watching. See you.